Good morning. Good morning. I am excited to be here with each of you this morning. We know we had a snowy weekend, and I hope our young people had a good week off. I know I was able to get my daughter off to school this morning, and she's excited about being back in class. So I know that today our young people are waking up and excited about being back in class. And so we want to make sure that they have a great week and are ready to study, have breakfast and all that. So we won't be taking up too much of your time because I know people have to get ready for work. This is Coffee with the Mayor. And if you have any questions that you would like to ask me, please feel free to send those questions. Send the email to coffeewiththemayor@cityofrochester.gov. That's coffeewiththemayor@cityofrochester.gov. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. And I try to get to as many questions as I can, but of course, every week we have more questions than allotted for, but we try to make sure that we are encompassing when we may not ask your specific question, but we want to make sure that we're encompassing when we're doing this. Before I get started, I wanted to see if everybody had a chance to watch the State of the City series on housing. It was version 2. And if you have not watched that yet, we ask you to go to YouTube, the City of Rochester's YouTube page, or to What's Good Rochester, so that you can see our episode on housing. I want to thank our communications team, our great communications team that has been putting together these video series. We're doing the State of the City different this year. Because of the pandemic, we can't come together. We usually get about 500 people to come together and have great student performances and all of that. But unfortunately, because of the pandemic, we're not able to gather. So we wanted to be able to provide you with information on what's happening in the city and do it in a way that you can digest it right from your home. You can watch it over and over again as many times as you want to and get the information so that you can basically take advantage of different things that are happening in the city. Of course, we announced the AIR agenda last month, and we're finishing up with our housing series, of course, and then we'll be going into the next series that we will release next month. But before I get started on questions regarding housing, I wanted to talk a little bit about the coronavirus vaccinations. And I know many of you have a number of concerns, and I've heard your cries, I've heard your pleas. My commissioner of the Department of Recreation and Human Services, Dr. Daniel Lyman Torres, and the city's equity officer has been working very, very hard to bring equity to the process and working with the county and the state. And this past weekend, we had a successful clinic where over 255 people were vaccinated. And we will continue to do those as long as we're getting the vaccines. And I know that the federal government has agreed to bring a vaccination site right into the heart of where our most challenges lie, which is in Northeast Rochester, 14605, 14609, 14621 zip codes. And you can sign up for that by going to the state's website to get COVID-19 vaccinations and sign up there, and they will be vaccinating people from the city of Rochester first in those most challenged zip codes. 2 of our senior citizens, Mary Ann Sanford and Judy Johnson, are over the age of 65, and they have underlying health conditions. Miss Mary Ann sent a message stating that she and her wife Judy have not been able to get on the state's vaccination list, and they were very, very concerned about how they are going to be able to get vaccinated. And they've taken they've called their doctor, they've called the numbers, and they are really, truly, truly concerned about this. I promise you that we are fighting diligently for you, our residents, to bring equity into ensuring that everyone that wants to get vaccinated are able to get vaccinated. The way that we are doing this, of course, is through these clinics, but also you can call your doctor. You can sign up on the state's website. Again, because of the fact that they are bringing this vaccination that can vaccinate 1,000 people a day. And I believe it's starting March 4th. And you'll be able to start signing up to get the vaccination on at the Hawkeye plant, which is at on St. Paul. They will start taking registrations for that site. I believe it's this Wednesday. So please check the state's website or call the state's number, and I will have someone grab that for you while I finish up. But they will be vaccinating people in the city of Rochester first. We want everyone to get signed up. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to call my Office of Constituent Services of 428-7045. That's 428-7045, or you could always just call 311 and they will connect you. We'll make sure that they have this information because this is a site coming directly to the city of Rochester. We want to thank the state of New York, and we want to also thank President Biden for working diligently to bring this site to the city under Governor Cuomo's leadership, as well as President Biden's leadership. We were able to get this site situated right on St. Paul, which is in the heart of where some of our most challenges are when it comes down to the coronavirus. So you and your family, remember, they've expanded the list. So if you have underlying conditions, meaning if you have asthma, diabetes, or other underlying health concerns, and you're under the age of 65, you are eligible. You just want to make sure that that you sign up and you make sure that you talk to your doctor about the eligibility. The number for the vaccines, of course, will be coming up. So thank you again for joining us today. We want to talk a little bit about housing and what we're doing around housing. The first question that I have is from Shaquille. It says, hello, Mayor. I was born and raised in Rochester. Last year, I graduated from the College at Brockport MSW program. After graduating, I felt it was time to start looking for a home to purchase. I'm interested in buying a duplex and being an owner occupant. After months of looking and being outbid by cash investors that live outside the city, I'm starting to think about searching in other areas outside the city. The seller's market mixed with outside investors make it nearly impossible for me to find a home. My cousin is an RN at Strong Hospital in the same situation as me. My question to you is, what can be done to stop outside investors from coming into the city and purchasing all of the property, forcing lifelong residents to move away? Can sellers be offered some incentive to sell to city residents? I look forward to hearing your response. Wow, this is a great question, Shaquille, and I understand your plight. I have a couple family members that are in your same boat. My cousin is in the first-time home buyers program, and she is looking for a house right now, and it is very, very difficult. I can say that on one hand, I'm excited about that because that means that people are looking to buy and live in the city of Rochester. On the other hand, I understand your concerns about outside investors buying property and not necessarily those properties being occupied by owner occupants. And we want to build up our neighborhoods in a way where owner occupants can also purchase and live in our community. So we are currently exploring all of the opportunities of Housing First and the Housing First Trust Fund to create stability for our residents, which would advance equity. For you and your cousin's situation, as well as my cousin's situation, we want to provide funding to the Rochester Land Bank to attain higher quality properties for owner occupancy programs. The Land Bank can offer these homes directly to residents like you seeking to buy a home without competing with out-of-town investors. And that is something that we're excited about. If we're able to fund the Land Bank and to do this program, we will provide new owner occupants with about $25,000 in rehab grants, financial literacy, and planning assistance to assure long-term stability and wealth building. This will work, and this will be a game changer for our city. So I ask you to hold tight. We are working on your behalf to make sure that the resources and opportunities are coming directly to you. When we talk about housing first, and I don't know if you've had a chance to look at the housing State of the City series, series 2 of the State of the City. And our team at City Hall, our communications team and videographers did an excellent job in really talking about history and how things started. And featured in the series is Dr. Alice Young, as well as Dr. Walter Cooper, who back in the 1960s, 70s, were looking to rent and also purchase, and were not allowed to. Actually, in Dr. Alice Young's case, she had to have a white woman actually purchase her home for her in order for her to move into the neighborhood. And then she and her family were met with a lot of racism. And that is very, very challenging. It was challenging then, and it has set up our housing market to be what it is today. And so you hear us talk a lot about redlining today and the effects of redlining. And so redlining is where the federal government basically mapped out different cities across the country and said, these are areas that you don't want to lend in. These are areas that, you know, people of color predominantly live, and therefore banks and other folks, you should not lend to them, which led to a lot of the problems that we have today that Shaquille is talking about, a lot of out-of-town investors, people that don't necessarily care about the upkeep of the neighborhood. But I know that we have a lot of residents that do care, that want to purchase homes in our neighborhoods. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the programs that we have available for them. One of them is the first-time homebuyers program. The first-time homebuyers program is you work directly with our not-for-profit organizations. They will help you go through homebuyers training so you understand what it's like to buy a home and what is expected. So recently here at my house, you know, I had a major leak. My ceiling fell in, and, you know, I had to call the plumber, I had to call the contractor, I had to get all of that done. There is nobody else that's going to take care of that, like with the landlord. And so you want to make sure that when you're purchasing your home, you understand all those things that are expected of you, and that you're prepared for those rainy days that will most doubtedly come. You know, there will be a leak, there will be something that goes on with your home that you're going to have to take care of. And so we want to make sure that before you purchase that home, you go through that training program to get information about what to do in these types of cases. They also, the first-time homebuyers program helps to provide closing cost assistance. So, you know, part of, you know, purchasing a home is not just, you know, getting the mortgage, but you also have to pay closing costs, which at times can be thousands of dollars, you know, $5,000 to $10,000, depending on the price of the home. And so if you go through the first-time homebuyers program, they work with your credit, they work with you to save money. They tell you exactly what it's like to own a home and what to expect, but also they help you with your closing costs. And so if you want more information on our closing cost, on our first-time homebuyers program, please call 311. Carol Wheeler is our director of housing. She can give you all the information on the city's first-time homebuyers program. And we're excited about many of our residents taking advantage of that. But as Shaquille stated earlier, the market is really tough right now. It is a seller's market. And so we want you to get in early, start the process now, so that this summer you can be looking to buy your own home, and we can help you with that. The other program that we have, and that I want to talk about, is a new program that is also featured in the State of the City second series, which is with the Urban League. It's the first program like this. We're testing it out and excited to partner with the Urban League. We are actually doing rent to own. And so this is based off of a project that came out of Cleveland. And so, and you can go see these houses right now, right on Clifton and Reynolds. You'll see there are shovels in the ground. These houses are being built right now. We're excited about it. So for 15 years, they're rental. And after the 15 years, the occupant of that house will be given the option to buy that home. And they will be working towards actually purchasing that home in year 15 and 16. And so that's an exciting program because we've never done that before, but we know that there are some people that right now just prefer to rent. And then when they get to the stage in which they want to purchase, they can actually purchase the home that they have been renting all those years. And so that's an option, as I said, that hasn't been done before. And those houses are being built right now. And so we're excited that hopefully the first people will start to move in the fall or the spring of 2022. And we'll be able to see new families be excited about living in our neighborhoods and in our communities. And we're thankful to the Urban League for their leadership and for bringing this program to Rochester. We have many community partners that are doing great things as it pertains to housing in our neighborhoods and our community. And we're excited about that. But that's a new program, as I said, that is a brand new home that is built from the ground up, that you will be able to purchase after 15 years of rental. And it's the first time we're doing that here in our community. You heard me talk a little bit about Shaquille's question about the land bank. And so our land bank is, it's a part of the city of Rochester. They take properties that need to be either rehabbed, and we work with the Greater Rochester Housing Partnership. We work with another number of community organizations, and we want to get those houses directly to you, the residents of our city. And so it's a way for us to test out new programs. I often hear about a program where at one point in time, the city used to sell the house for $1. And, that program went away. That was, a couple of decades ago, but our land bank is testing out different programs. And one of the programs that they tested out was in the Susan B. Anthony neighborhood last year, where it allowed residents that live in a neighborhood to actually purchase houses in a neighborhood to rent. And we helped them rehab that property. And they agreed to leave that property as an affordable rental. And so that property on King Street is done, and it's rented to a nice family, and it is owned by somebody that lives right on the same street. And so that is an investment that this resident took. And so we're excited about that program, and, helping our residents be able to purchase homes right within their neighborhoods and rent it out, rehab it, and rent it out for an affordable price. And that, when you see someone building that type of wealth, building that type of equity, building that type of generational wealth, is something that we want to continue to do and continue to support. And so how do you take advantage of those types of programs? And it's a matter of calling our land bank, again, calling our manager of housing, who is Carol Wheeler. You can either call 311 or call the Office of Constituent Services at 428-7045, and they can direct you to the right person that is willing to help you be able to purchase and own your own home right here in the city of Rochester. Because the one thing about owning your own home is about building equity that you can pass from generation to generation. And a house is something that appreciates. Over time, when you think about many of the houses that are in our community for the first time in a long time, in over a decade, the entire city of Rochester, the property values rose. And that is something to be excited about, to see that the value of property is going up in your city. It means your city is coming back. Now, do we have challenges? Absolutely, we have challenges, but our opportunities are even greater. And those opportunities are for people like you and I and our family members to be able to take advantage of. And we're here to help. We're here to help you succeed. Part of the reason why we do so much investing in first-time homebuyers programs and, trying to do the housing first is because we recognize that housing is the first thing that you need to a stable life. You want, and I can tell you something. Sometimes I'll tell you a secret. Sometimes owning your own home, your mortgage is cheaper than your rent. Can you believe it? Sometimes the mortgage is cheaper than the rent people pay. And so this is something you really want to explore, take advantage of, get your credit right, and make sure you take advantage of this, because I know people that are paying, $1,500 a month for a 3-bedroom home to rent. And they can be owning their own house and paying, $800, $900, or sometimes even $700, depending on where they buy it, the value of the house. So these are things that we want you to take advantage of, and we want you to get excited about, because that's a secret that people don't necessarily talk about. What do you mean? Owning my own house, paying a mortgage is cheaper than paying rent? Get out of here. Absolutely. And if you are on Section 8, Section 8 has a program that actually helps their Section 8 tenants and clients with purchasing and buying their own home. And so please talk to your Section 8 counselor about this program. Do not let these opportunities pass you by. These are all things that we want you to get excited about as residents of the city of Rochester. And we're bringing it to you because you deserve the very, very best. You deserve the best that we have to offer. Now, we talk about housing first, and maybe, I'm a young person, I'm a young professional, and I just graduated from nursing school and I want to rent now. But you know what? I make too much money for the market rate housing in downtown Rochester, and I don't make enough for affordable. I make too much for affordable, and I don't make enough to really get into the market rate housing that is in downtown Rochester and other places across our city. We've heard you. I want you to know that we've heard you and that we're doing something for you, and it's called our workforce housing program. We've been working with a number of developers that are looking at what we consider workforce housing, because we see that that we have a lot of people that are overhoused. So when I talk about overhoused, what do you mean? So that means that I'm a single person, I don't have any children, and I have to rent a 2-bedroom apartment because that's the only thing that's available. And where really I should only be paying about $500 a month. Now I have to pay $700 a month because I have to rent a larger place. Well, let me tell you, help is on the way, because we're doing workforce housing and we're working with our developers right now to get that done. And that will be a program that's meant just for our young professionals that are single, that are not ready to purchase, not ready to settle down and have a family yet. I have many family members that are in this boat, and they're thinking about, okay, do I really want to stay here? Maybe I want to travel, go somewhere else. I want to travel. I want to do other things. I really don't want to purchase yet, but I want some place that I can afford. And this is a way for us to do that. Our workforce housing program They have a number of different developers already that are breaking into this. The Sibley building, as well as the development on an inner loop that's being built right now, is also workforce housing, and it is for that middle market, for those people that make too much for affordable, don't make enough for market rate. Maybe they want a studio, they want a 1-bedroom. We've heard you. I can assure you that help is definitely on the way. And we want a city that markets to everybody. So no matter what stage of life you're in and what you're doing at this moment in time, we want you to know that we're building housing in the city of Rochester just for you. We also have a choice program. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this. And this program is literally for a lot of people who want to build their own house. And in downtown Rochester, for many years, people were able to take advantage of the new condos and other things and take advantage of some tax breaks that they were able to benefit from building a house from the ground up. We've extended that program to our neighborhoods. And we're excited about this because on our empty lots, you can purchase an empty lot and then you can build a new house from the ground up the way that you want it, designed the way that you want it, with all the amenities that you want, and get tax benefits, tax breaks for that. And that's a way for us to build up our city and do it in such a way that you, our residents, can design it and have all the amenities, the kitchen exactly where you want it, and all of that, so that you can take advantage of the choice program. That's a program that City Council passed last year, and we're excited about putting those lots on the market and making sure that we already have people that have been, inquiring and wanting to build. And so we're excited about this. So let me tell you, Rochester many years ago was a city that was built for 310,000 people, over 300. I think it was 330,000 people. And if you watch the State of the City second series, you'll see that information there. And now we're down 100,000 people. So we don't need the same type of housing that we had before. We don't need all the housing that we had before. We want to build housing that is meant for the people that are here right now and well into the future. And the way that we can build that, way that we're doing that, is to strategically look at what are our needs. We know that we're lacking workforce housing. So you know what? Help is coming that way. We know that our seniors want to age in their neighborhoods. And I can tell you that we have a number of developments that's going on right now. One of the developments that was featured in a series, Ellen Stubbs Estates on Hudson Avenue in Upper Falls, that particular development, senior housing as well, so that our seniors don't have to leave their neighborhood in order to actually age in place. Zion Hill, we partnered, our Faith in Action program has partnered with Zion Hill as well as Rochester Management. And right now you can go and check it out on Dr. Samuel McCree Way across from Wilson Foundation, the old Madison High School. We're building housing right there, senior housing, and we're hopeful to have that to be able to be rented, up and running and rented in 2022. And so we're building housing all over the city for our families that are looking for, just want to rent those family homes. We're excited about making sure that you're able to rent family homes as well. Ibero has an exciting development that's going on over in Northeast Rochester. Those houses are going up right now. And I'll tell you something else. Right now in Northeast Rochester, in our most challenged area of our city, we have over $110 million worth of development that's happening right now. And that's new housing. And I was excited to join Miss Edna Craven about 2 weeks ago. She hadn't been feeling well, but she has been in the trenches fighting for our families, fighting for our community for years. She worked with Miss Lena Gant. She worked with with Assemblyman David Gant, and worked with all of our champions, our elders that were in the trenches, and we were able to give her her flowers while she's still here. And thankful to CDS, as well as the state of New York and our partners. We were able to announce to her that we're naming the new development that's going up on the corner of Joseph Avenue and Clinton, Joseph Avenue and Clifford Avenue, the Edna Craven Estates. And so we want to pay homage to those people that have done so much for our community, people like Edna Craven, people like Ellen Stubbs, people like Raymond Scott, Lena Gant. These people gave their life for the people of this city, and we want them to know that we haven't forgotten them. People like Mildred Johnson. And I know that many of them are smiling down on us from heaven and saying, you know, well done and truly appreciate it. But we wanted to make sure that Ms. Craven was able to get her flowers while she's still here, and she can see the development go up right before her eyes that she fought for to be done right in her neighborhood. And that is going to be not only a development for families, but it's going to be for people that have developmental challenges as well. But we are excited about that development because that land has been vacant in the city of Rochester for a long time. And you can go right now and you can see that being built today. And so all of these new housing developments are on the way. We've heard you, Rochester. So our seniors, we've heard you. Our people that are working in the workforce, we've heard you. Our families, we've heard you. We want you to know that housing is coming your way because here we believe in the housing first model. But I wanted to get back to something that I started off with before I run, because I know everyone has to get ready for work. So the COVID, to get the COVID vaccine and to sign up, you go to www.covid19vaccine.health.newyork.gov. So again, that website is COVID-19 vaccine.health.ny.gov. And I believe starting this Wednesday, people that live in certain zip codes in the city of Rochester, that's in the west side and in the northeast side of the city of Rochester, they can call to sign up to get first vaccines at that St. Paul site that is being opened up in the beginning of March. You can also call 1-833-697-4829. That's 833-697-4829. So if you do not have the internet, you can call this number 1-833-697-4829 to sign up for the vaccine. And of course, if you have any challenges or you just want someone to help walk you through the process, we're always available. Our commissioner, Dr. Daniela Lyman-Torres, and her team, we did a phenomenal job of the clinic that we had at on Saturday. We had a great vaccine distribution, and over 244 people were vaccinated. So if you want to get the vaccine, we are here to try to help you get that, to sign up, and we're asking for more vaccines. And we believe that we're going to be getting those. We know that there have been some delays because of the weather. So I know my time is up, but I want you to know, I want you to have a great week, get our kids off to school, and I know that they're excited. And I want to leave you with a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And he said, "Everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love." That's why I pour my heart and soul into the equity and recovery agenda, my vision for building a just and equitable city for everyone, where every child, where every family, where every landlord, where every tenant, where every citizen has a fighting chance at life. So have a great week, Rochester. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you for joining me for coffee.